only IFL TV in association with MTK Global.
Sorry, it was very childish.
I'm at Liverpool Town Hall today for the final press conference for the Callum Smith versus Skoglund.
Well done, well remembered.
You're on the table today, but it's not your show, is it?
No, it's not. No, I was.
You're a guest.
I'm Callum's promoter, and I did the deal with him for the series, so I'm supporting, and I'm excited. I feel I'm a big supporter of the series. I know you've obviously been working with Calla for a number of years now, and know he's been working hard on this, and I think it's a good fight. And I'm excited to see Callum Smith because I think that he's really ready for action. It's been a long time coming. There's a lot of frustration to be let out at the Echo Arena on Saturday night because he's waiting for the Durrell fight for a long time, and this opportunity come around. He looks great in sparring. He looks in tremendous shape. And, he's against an opponent who we expect to come and have a real go.
Obviously, I spoke to Skoglund. He's confident. Said that coming down a weight doesn't bother him. He wouldn't be here if he didn't think he could do a job. I mean, what have you seen of him?
Not a great deal. I mean, actually, it wasn't so long ago that we nearly fought him with Nathan Cleverly before the Badu Jack fight came along. So, he was a good light heavyweight. I don't know, £7 is a lot of weight. He's behind you, so I can't say too much. But he looks a bit skinny, as you would. But he's a good fighter. I don't really think he's in Callum Smith's league, to be honest with you. I think Callum is, arguably the #1 super middleweight in the world.
Big statement.
Yeah, but really, when you look at it, I mean, you've probably got, obviously, James DeGale would sit at #1 because of his achievements. Gilberto Ramirez is a good fighter as well. He's got a tough fight against Jesse Hart, by the way, soon. Callum, probably hasn't got the wins on the record that can put him in the league of DeGale yet, who has beaten those guys. But I think ability-wise, and George Groves as well. So you're probably talking about those 4 guys as the top of the top. But of those, really, Chunky is the one who's actually got the resume, who's beating those guys. But Callum's young, and he'll go on, and I really believe he's going to have a long future, and he's a real contender in this series.
I mean, obviously, the belt in there, I know you've seen many belts in your time. It's quite a nice belt, though, isn't it?
It's a nice belt. Muhammad Ali, WBC, Diamond belt.
One of the best
very nice, very nice belt. I mean, like I said, listen, in an ideal world, Callum would be fighting for the real WBC world title. But with everything that was, it took so long, and it was messy, and this is a great opportunity for him to go out there, fight the top guys, get well paid, and come out of the other side as a real star. And I think that's, if he can do that, it's going to work out very well for him.
Well, see, this is just the start of a tough old road if he does want to win this tournament. Skoglund is one of the lesser known boxers in this tournament. What would be the bumps in the road for Callum if there?
Well, I think he's got a good side of the draw. In that, it's the weaker side of the draw, if there is such a thing, because he's got the winner of Bramer against Bryant, who you would have to say are probably the 2 weakest in the tournament, and the top half of the draw is much tougher. You've got Groves Cox and you've got Eubank Yildirim, so you're kind of hoping that by the time you reach the final, those guys have punched themselves out and beat each other up, But in boxing, anything can happen, and someone could pick up an injury, and when you're going in fights like that, it's hard to have those fights, have a couple of weeks off or a month off, then get back to camp, which is what you've got to do in this series. So we don't know what's going to happen. You might get a winner, and then he's out, and then someone else goes through, or a reserve goes through, or something like that. So for Callum, he's just got to take fight by fight. Beat Skoglund, go on, beat the winner of Bramer against Bryant, which he should do, and then make the final. I'm hoping it's going to be a very clean road for Callum to the final.
But the final could not be a toughie. I mean,
the final will be tough. Whatever happens, the final's going to be tough. If Callum makes the final, he's going to be fighting either Cox, Yildirim, Groves, or Eubank. So it's it's going to be a tough final.
Who do you think can make the final there?
I really fancy Cox to beat Groves. I just think everything that's happened in that process with Jamie Cox, the fact that he's even got that fight, got that money, is incredible, really, and he's so pumped for it. But George is a very good fighter, so it's a tough fight. I think Yildirim against Eubank's also a good fight. Eubank's looked good lately, but Yildirim's a bit of a nutty Turk, and he fancies it. So that's a tough little bracket, that one.
I mean, I'm sure you're not getting out of pocket by any means in this tournament, but what do you make of having to take sort of a backseat and watch?
I'm happy. The offer come around for the tournament, and Callum's lawyer and myself and Joe Gallagher negotiated the terms of the contract, looked at it. It was a great opportunity for Callum, great money. It's not, you can't really win, because sometimes promoters or me get accused, oh, you don't let your fighters fight in other fights or on other channels, you know? And then when you do, it's like, why are you letting your fighters fight on another channel? Because it was a good, I don't hold people back. But we're still involved. And like I said, I believe if he wins this tournament, he comes out a big pay-per-view star, the other side. So great. You know, so, and again, it's not our show. So you won't see it, you know, the Matchroom juggernaut and the Sky Sports juggernaut behind it. So when people say to me, why aren't you promoting the Callum Smith fight? It's like, because it's not on our channel. No, but a lot of people have, you know, what? Because it's, you know, I'm promoting our shows. Yeah. I'm still here, he's still our fighter, that's what we're doing. But, you know, I think it's a good opportunity for him. And, you know, outside of the WBC fight, the fight that I tried to make was the James DeGale fight. And when that fight didn't happen, this was by far the best alternative for Callum versus going to Detroit or wherever, Flint, and boxing Andre Durrell. So, you know, you'll see in 8 or 9 months if it was the right decision.
There is you got some tasty shows coming up. O'Hara Davis has been a little bit quiet, hasn't he?
Not really, a little bit quiet for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I was just talking to the lads, Swifty and Paul Smith and Callum. The show we've got on the 30th in Liverpool is really quite interesting because they're all sort of debating who's going to win which fight. You know, Tom Farrell against O'Hara Davis, for example. Farrell's done like 700-800 tickets on his own for that fight. I mean, all because Scousers hate O'Hara Davis. and then you know, you've got Sean Dodd against Tom Stalker. You know, the boys are saying, really on paper, Stalker should box his heroes off, but you've got 1,000 from Birkenhead, you've got all Stalkers fans, someone's going to lose their rag in the ring, and then it's a tear up.
Have you got the security for that, by the way?
Yeah, but that'll suit Masher, that kind of fight. Then you've got Brophy against Fielding, which is a really, really good fight. Loads coming down from Glasgow, and then you've got Butler against Hall, and Hall is on fire in the gym. Spoke to Cowie Fire the other day. He's bringing a couple of hundred from Newcastle. So in that arena that night, you've got Birkenhead, Liverpool, Hackney, Glasgow, Newcastle, and Ellesmere Port.
I'm not coming.
Bring your tin hat.
To be fair, I mean, you know, you have on the tickets, no football colours.
Yeah.
Put it in big bold letters for that day.
No, but people, the key is at these events, come, enjoy the boxing, have a drink, behave yourself. You know, otherwise you get nicked.
Exactly. On Saturday, we talk about another show. Billy Joe Saunders defending his world title against Willie Monroe. A tough fight.
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, it's a good pedigree fight, isn't it? It's like Monroe's no mug, but because Billy's been inactive and we don't really know what to expect, it's a much more even fight. Because Billy at his best, I think, does a job on Monroe, but we don't know. I'm really pleased for Billy Joe that he's got himself together, looks in great shape. Dominic Ingle looks like he's done a great job with him. Sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. It's a bit like Kel sometimes. You can't just be at home with your pals and in your comforts. Yeah. You've got to get on the road. You've got to live in a little one bed and just focus on your sport and your training. That's what Billy Joe's done. So, I mean, it's a decent fight. I fancy Billy Joe to win on points.
Points. Have a bet on that. Yes. On the card as well, Anthony Yarde is fighting one of Callum's former opponents. Yeah?
Norbert Nemesis-Party.
Good name.
Is that the guy who's much better than Jose Burton?
Apparently so.
And much higher ranked than Frank Buglione.
I'm not
it's a super middleweight who went. I mean, he's been fed around more times than Indelia. What's her name? And he's now up at light heavyweight. I mean, it's a terrible fight. Terrible. And Anthony Yarde must be sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, what am I getting for this fight? 15 grand? 20 grand? And I could have got 100 grand to fight Jose Burton in a fight that everyone wanted to see. But
that's what I was going to bring into next. I mean, what is happening with that whole situation? I mean, I spoke to Frank.
Callum Johnson against Frank.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then Jose Burton will be the mandatory because Yarde pulled out.
Yarde missed the ship now?
Yeah, he pulled out. I mean, we could make an offer for that fight, but Frank wants to win the Lonsdale belt outright. When I tell you about the fights, I'll tell you anyway. Frank Buglione turned down a fight with Andre Ward, right, about 3 weeks ago, for a lot of money, because he wants to win the Lonsdale belt.
Is this news, Flash?
That's news. No one knows that other than Steve Goodwin, myself, Andre Ward's team, and Frank Buglione. 10 days ago, we were asked if he wanted to fight Sergey Kovalev, and he turned it down. So Frank Buglione ain't worried about making a couple of $100 grand. And Frank Warren comes out and says, "Oh, the money that Warren offered for the Yarde fight was peanuts compared to what he's been offered for Ward and Kovalev." But Frank said to me, "Do you know what? What an honour to be offered that fight. I was just expecting him to take it."
Yeah. I mean, you see with Chudinov, he don't care about.
No, but he says it's a very tough fight, and I want to win the Lonsdale belt. I'm like, Frank, it's a lot of money, mate, and it's Andre Ward. No, I know what I'm doing. I want to win the Lonsdale belt. Whether that strategy's proved right is over time. But don't worry about 100 grand for Frank Brigadoni. I mean, talk about a seasoned pro here, someone who's on good money, has got an idea. He's turned down the pay-per-view, pound for pound #1 in the world, and also Sergei Kovalev. So don't worry about turning down a small offer for Anthony Yarde. But Anthony Yarde is fighting Norbert Nemsapati from Hungary. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
Moving on to bigger fellas, Anthony Joshua, 70,000 tickets
Unbelievable.
sold.
And I think they've done the rest this morning. I think we had like 4,500 left, all gone. Just a phenomenon. Never seen anything like it. We'll never see anything like it again, I don't think. It's incredible.
You're going to have to give him a massive watch for that one, aren't you?
What?
I have to give him a massive watch for that one.
I think he's doing all right. I think you should buy me a watch.
Exactly. Dave Allen, he broke his phone this morning.
Has he?
Yeah.
Devastated.
So, yeah, so you can only
that might be a
Snapchat.
blessing. He can stay off social media now.
You can only use Snapchat on his iPad, that's all he's got.
I don't know, look. I don't know if it's worth talking to Dave Allen because he's going to do what he's going to do anyway. But listen, there's a lot of pressure on him for that fight because it really is last chance saloon.
Yeah.
That's what it is, isn't it? There's no point really, like, scratching around the subject. It is. Now people say to me, is this Dave Allen's last chance? Of course it is. Like, of big time boxing on Sky Sports. He knows that. But he should, and I believe will, beat Lemmer. Thomas, and
will that be up there with your greatest achievements in boxing?
Do you know what people said to me? It's like the response from the Dave Allen fight was 95%. Oh, do you know what? I'm so chuffed for him. Come on, Dave. And then you get 5% going, oh, I didn't think it was great. Why are you giving him another chance? And the answer to that is, fuck off, I'll give you who I want a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like Dave Allen. And yes, maybe it is a little bit of ego. Not ego, but for myself, that to see him win it would make me feel great. Yes, it would. Can't deny that. But I'm hoping it would make a lot of other people feel great as well.
I'd feel great.
I know. So that's what he's fighting for. He's fighting for himself. He's fighting for people supporting him, and it's a bit of a feel good fight. Remember when Curtis Woodhouse boxed Darren Hamilton? You were there. You were with Darren Hamilton. I remember you in the bar after pissed, moaning, sulking, nearly got knocked out yourself. But do you remember that night? It was like that was just going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Everyone in the arena was just on the story, weren't they? And actually, it was a very close fight. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But it was like, do you know what? I just think it was his night. It was just there was enough people willing him on to do it that he did it. And I hope that will be the same for Dave Allen, where he actually uses it as a positive, not a negative, where he feels pressure and expectation. Just go with it and just relax and do your thing, and let your hands go. That's the key. Let your hands go. That was the frustrating thing about it before. Didn't let his hands go. Too much regret.
I know you're probably getting bored of it, but Chisora and Whyte, I mean, anything happening there? Any movement?
There's going to be some announcements on both those guys very soon. They won't be fighting each other next. But what they will be doing is hopefully fighting each other in February.
I never caught it on camera, I just missed it. But what did you make of the York Hall beef between Dillian Whyte and Don Charles?
Yeah, I didn't.
Don Charles offered it in the ring.
Did he? I mean, Don Charles is a nutter. I mean, like all these big guys, like Don Charles is a big man, and you get grabbed by these geezers. I mean, they crush you like a Coke can.
Yeah.
So hopefully, all these sort of stuff will sort of stay away as far as possible. But I want to see Chisora Whyte too. I watched it again the other night on Sky. It was just on randomly. I sort of sit there and go, that's a great fight. I know everyone wants to see it, and I think we can make it happen. I do. Both guys want to get very well paid. This is the problem in boxing right now. The fans just think it's easy, and it's us evil promoters, but boxers and managers,
it's got to make sense.
They want a lot of money.
An old foe of the pair of them, Ian Lewison, is fighting Joe Joyce on a debut. I mean, what do you make of that for a debut fight?
It's either going to be an excellent bit of matchmaking or a terrible bit of management. We'll find out. When is it? October? It's in October, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I know Joe Joyce well. He's very talented. He doesn't look as good as he is, because his style's not explosive. He's just relentless. He's got a great chin. He's got a great engine. He's very strong. But also rate Ian Lundson. And if it was me, I wouldn't have made the fight. I would have made that fight in Joe's third or fourth fight. I just would have given him a couple just to ease himself in. But they've obviously seen something in the gym. David A knows what he's doing. He's been around heavyweight boxing for a long time. Where he feels he beats Lundson comfortably. And they do believe he beats him comfortably. They don't really think it's a risk like most people do. They think it's an easy win. Ian's got to start fast. The problem is, if you don't get Joe Joyce out there in the first 4 or 5 rounds, you've got a tough night in front of you because he don't stop.
Well,
but he's 31 or 32, so in that sense,
he does need to be pushed on.
Yeah, but it's very quick. But listen, if he wins that, the next fight is probably a British title for Joe. So if he's good enough, a lot of these guys coming through with amateur experience, especially WSB experience. What's Joe had? WSB fights? I don't know. I think maybe double figures. So they're like pro fights. So really, Joe is already 10-0 in the pro ranks or whatever, how many fights he's had. So, like I said, either brilliant bit of matchmaking or terrible bit of mismanagement.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Find out.
Like that.
Is that your glass? Are these yours glasses? I just found these on the side. This is the Warriors Code. This is why we are here. This is what we do.
All right, listen, Ed, on that note, I'll let you crack on. But until then, thank you for IFL TV and I'll catch up with you soon. Top man.